Hi, everyone. Quick one for you. Make sure you subscribe and like before we start. Thank you. My life is a series of routines. I wake up at 6:30 every morning, hit the gym, then head to work. I'm a financial analyst, and I've built a stable life for myself and my wife, Sarah. We've been married for 15 years, 15 long years. At this point, our marriage is comfortable, predictable. We've settled into our roles. I handle the finances, and she manages the house. We don't have kids by choice, so it's just the two of us. We share our lives, but sometimes I wonder if we're more like roommates than husband and wife. Sarah works at a local private school as an administrative assistant. She's always been passionate about education, even though her job isn't exactly glamorous. But it suits her. She's dedicated, organized, and people love her there. I've always been proud of her, though lately something's felt off. The spark between us has faded, and I've chalked it up to the passage of time. But deep down, there's this nagging feeling I can't shake. I've ignored it, telling myself it's just the way things are after so many years together. Tonight is like any other night. I'm sitting on the couch, scrolling through my phone while Sarah is in the kitchen, making tea. The TV is on in the background, some crime show we've both seen a dozen times. I'm half paying attention when I see a letter on the coffee table, an envelope I don't recognize. It's addressed to Sarah from a bank we don't use. Curiosity gets the better of me, and I open it. It's a credit card bill, but not just any bill. This one is for thousands of dollars. My eyes scan the charges: high-end restaurants, luxury hotels, and designer stores. My heart skips a beat. We haven't been to any of these places together. I don't remember Sarah ever mentioning anything about this card. My mind races trying to make sense of it. "Hey, babe," I call out, trying to keep my voice steady. "What's this bill about?" Sarah walks into the living room, mug in hand, and gives me a puzzled look. "What bill?" I hold up the statement. "This. I didn't know you had another credit card. These charges." Her eyes flicker with something, panic maybe, but it's gone in an instant. "Oh, that. It's nothing, just some work expenses. The school will reimburse me." Work expenses? For dinners at Michelin-starred restaurants? For a weekend at the Four Seasons? Something doesn't add up. "I've never seen this card before," I say, my voice tighter now. Sarah shrugs, but I can see the tension in her shoulders. "I didn't want to bother you with it. It's under control." Under control. I want to believe her, but the doubt is gnawing at me. I look at her, really look at her, and for the first time I see the distance between us. It's not just physical. It's like she's become a stranger. Someone I thought I knew, but clearly don't. I force a smile and nod, but inside my world is starting to crumble. I can't let this go. The doubt, the unease, it's like a splinter in my mind. I keep replaying that moment, the look in Sarah's eyes when she saw the bill. That flicker of something. Guilt? Panic? I don't know, but it was there. She tried to explain it away, but her words felt hollow. I've always trusted her, but now I don't know what to think. I need to find out the truth. The next day, I leave for work early, but my mind isn't on the numbers flashing on my computer screen. It's on Sarah. What is she hiding? I spend most of the morning trying to shake the feeling, telling myself I'm overreacting. But I can't concentrate. I keep checking my phone, waiting for some sign, something that tells me everything's okay. Nothing comes. At lunch, I make up my mind. I need answers. I call the credit card company, pretending to be Sarah. My heart pounds as I fumble through the automated menus. Finally, I get a live agent. I tell them I've misplaced the card and need to verify some recent transactions. The agent lists the charges, the restaurants, the hotels, the designer stores. Each one feels like a punch to the gut, but then something stands out. A payment to a private tutoring service, the kind a student might use. A cold chill runs through me. My mind races, connecting dots that I don't want to connect. Could it be? I think about Sarah at work, how she's been spending more time at school, staying late, even on weekends. I never questioned it. Now I wonder if I've been a fool. I leave work early, telling my boss I'm not feeling well. I need to confront Sarah, but not yet. I need proof. I start by driving to the school. I park a few blocks away and wait. Hours pass, and I feel like an idiot sitting in my car spying on my wife. But then around 5 p.m. I see her. She's walking out of the building, laughing with someone, a young man, maybe in his early 20s. They're close, too close. She touches his arm and he smiles at her like they share a secret. My stomach turns. I follow them, keeping a safe distance. They drive separately, but I tail them both, my hands gripping the wheel so hard my knuckles turn white. They stop at a cafe, a small, out-of-the-way place. I watch from across the street as they sit in a corner booth, heads close together, talking softly. She's looking at him in a way she hasn't looked at me in years. The realization hits me hard. This isn't just some fling. There's something deeper here, something that's been going on for a while. I want to burst in, confront them, but I hold back. I need more than just my word against hers. I need evidence. I pull out my phone, snapping pictures, recording video. Every second of it feels like a knife in my heart, but I can't stop. I need to be sure. When they finally leave, I follow her home, but I can't bring myself to go inside. I sit in the car, staring at the house where we've built our life together, where we've shared so many memories. It feels like a lie now, a facade hiding the betrayal underneath. My phone buzzes, a text from Sarah. "Working late, don't wait up." The lie is so blatant, it almost makes me laugh. I watch the lights turn on inside, knowing she's home, alone. But I don't go in. I can't face her. Not yet. That night, I barely sleep. My mind is a whirlwind of anger, disbelief, and hurt. The woman I've loved for 15 years, the woman I've shared my life with, is betraying me with a kid young enough to be her son. The betrayal cuts deep, but beneath the pain, something else begins to take root. Rage. Not the blind, explosive kind, but something colder, more calculating. If she thinks she can do this to me, she's wrong. I'm not just going to confront her. I'm going to make her pay. The next day, I skip work. I can't focus on anything but this. I spend the morning combing through our finances, looking for anything else she might be hiding. It's all there in black and white. She's been siphoning money from our accounts, slowly over the past year. Little amounts at first, but they've added up. Thousands of dollars, all going to fund her secret life with this boy. My boy. The thought is like poison in my veins. I think about the life we've built, the years of trust, of sacrifice. I gave her everything, and this is how she repays me? By spending my money on some young stud, laughing behind my back? The more I think about it, the more the rage builds. But I have to be smart. If I confront her now, she'll deny it, twist things around. No, I need to play this right. I need to gather evidence, build my case. When I finally confront her, I want to destroy her, leave her with nothing. But just as I'm planning my next move, things start to get complicated. Sarah begins acting differently. She's jumpy, nervous. I notice her checking her phone constantly, her eyes darting around like she's expecting something. Or someone. She's hiding something, more than just the affair. The thought makes my blood run cold. What if there's more? What if this boy isn't just some fling? What if he's involved in something darker, something dangerous? I start digging deeper, following her every chance I get. I even hack into her emails, her social media accounts. What I find there only fuels my anger. Messages, pictures, late-night rendezvous, all of it right under my nose. But there's something else too, references to money, to favors she's doing for him, things that don't make sense. It's like there's a whole other world she's living in, one I never knew existed. I confront her one night after she comes home late again. "Sarah, we need to talk." She looks at me, her eyes wide with something that looks like fear. "What's wrong?" "I know," I say, my voice cold. "I know about him, the money, all of it." For a moment, she just stands there, frozen. Then she shakes her head, trying to laugh it off. "What are you talking about? You're being ridiculous." "Am I?" I pull out my phone, show her the pictures, the messages. This looks pretty real to me. Her face drains of color. She stares at the phone, then back at me. It's not what you think, she says, her voice trembling. Then what is it? Tell me, Sarah. Tell me the truth for once. She's silent, her eyes darting around the room like she's searching for a way out. I I was helping him. He's a student. He was struggling, and I... Bullshit, I snap. You don't spend thousands of dollars on a student who's struggling. You're lying to me, and I'm done with it. She starts to cry, real tears this time. But I'm not moved. Please, it's not like that. I swear. I got in too deep, and I didn't know how to get out. I laugh, a harsh, bitter sound. Too deep? You're damn right you did. And now you're going to pay for it. Her eyes widen in panic. What are you going to do? I'm going to make sure you lose everything, I say, my voice deadly calm. You'll lose the house, the money, your job, everything. You don't get to walk away from this. She tries to grab my arm, but I pull away, disgusted. Please, let's just talk about this. We can work it out. Work it out? I stare at her, incredulous. There's nothing to work out, Sarah. You made your bed. Now you're going to lie in it. I leave her there, standing in the middle of the living room, tears streaming down her face. I don't feel anything for her anymore. Not love, not pity, just cold, hard resolve. I'm going to destroy her, and there's nothing she can do to stop me. But as I start planning my next move, Sarah's behavior becomes even more erratic. She starts taking calls in secret, leaving the house at odd hours, always looking over her shoulder like she's being watched. It's clear she's hiding something else, something bigger than just the affair. I need to find out what it is before it's too late, because now it's not just about revenge, it's about survival. I can't let her know what I'm up to. Not yet. I need to play it cool, act like nothing has changed. Every morning I go through the motions, shower, breakfast, kiss on the cheek. Have a good day, I say, the words feeling hollow in my mouth. She smiles, but there's something off about it now, something I missed before. Maybe I was too blind to see it. Now every glance, every word is a potential lie. After she leaves for work, I get to my real job, tracking her. I've already installed a GPS tracker on her car, and I keep tabs on her through a phone app. I know where she goes, how long she stays, who she meets. Most days it's the same routine, school, a cafe, sometimes a shopping trip. But there are other times, moments, when she slips away to places that don't make sense. That's when I follow her. One afternoon, she takes a detour to a part of town we rarely visit. It's quiet, almost too quiet. She pulls up to an upscale apartment complex, the kind with a doorman and private parking. I park a block away, watching as she enters the building, her demeanor shifting from the confident woman I married to someone else entirely. Someone nervous, unsure. She's meeting him. I know it. I wait, heart pounding, trying to keep my emotions in check. After what feels like an eternity, she reemerges, looking around as if she expects to see someone. She doesn't notice me. She never does. I snap a few photos as she heads back to her car, my mind racing. What's she doing in there? Is this where he lives? My anger simmers beneath the surface, but I can't act on it. Not yet. I need more. That night, I confront her subtly, testing the waters. How was your day? I ask over dinner, trying to keep my tone casual. Busy, she replies, not looking up from her plate. The school is gearing up for finals, so there's a lot to do. Must be exhausting, I say, watching her closely. You're working so hard lately. She nods, still avoiding my eyes. Yeah, it's been a lot. I push a little further. Maybe we should take a trip, get away for a bit. Just the two of us. Finally, she looks at me, her smile strained. I don't think I can right now. Maybe after the school year ends. I know it's a lie. There's no way she'll be free then either. But I drop it, not wanting to push too hard. I need to keep her comfortable, unsuspecting. Let her think she's in control. Over the next few days, I intensify my surveillance. I dig into her finances, pulling records from accounts she doesn't think I know about. It's worse than I thought. She's been funneling money into a separate account, Small amounts at first, but they've grown over time. Thousands of dollars are missing, and I have a good idea where it's going. She's funding his lifestyle, paying for everything, rent, clothes, even tuition. She's not just cheating on me, she's using me to do it. But then things take a darker turn. In one of her emails, I find a reference to something more, an investment, a deal she's made. It's vague, but the numbers don't lie. She's involved in something shady, something that could ruin us both if it goes south. The more I dig, the more I realize that her affair is just the tip of the iceberg. There's something bigger at play here, something dangerous. I need help, so I reach out to a lawyer, a discreet one. We meet in his office, a small, windowless room that feels more like an interrogation chamber than a place of business. I need to know my options, I say, trying to keep my voice steady. He nods, listening as I explain the situation. When I'm opening, he leans back in his chair, his expression serious. You need to protect yourself. Financially, you're vulnerable. If she's siphoning money, you need to cut her off before it's too late. But you also need proof, solid, undeniable evidence. Otherwise, this could get very messy. I know he's right. I've seen enough already to know that Sarah won't go down without a fight. She's too deep into whatever this is. But I'm not just worried about the money anymore. There's something else, something more sinister that I can't quite put my finger on. And then it happens. One night as I'm going through her emails again, a message pops up. An anonymous email addressed to her, but it's short, just one line. Stop digging or you'll regret it. My blood runs cold. Someone knows what I'm doing. Someone is watching me. I delete the message, my heart pounding. What the hell have I gotten myself into? It's not just Sarah's betrayal anymore. There's a third party involved, someone who doesn't want the truth to come out. My first instinct is to confront Sarah, demand answers, but I know better. She's already on edge, and if I push too hard, she'll shut down completely. I need to stay calm, play this smart. But the threat feels real, and suddenly, this isn't just about revenge, it's about survival. The next day I follow her again, more paranoid than ever. I can't shake the feeling that I'm being watched, that someone is out there, tracking my every move. But I don't see anyone. No cars following me, no one out of place. Just the gnawing sense that I'm not alone. In this anymore. Sarah heads back to the apartment building, the same one as before. This time I follow her inside, keeping my distance, careful not to be seen. The lobby is quiet, the kind of place that echoes with every footstep. She heads to the elevator and I hang back, watching her go up to the 4th floor. I wait a few minutes, then follow, taking the stairs to avoid detection. When I reach the 4th floor, I see her at the end of the hallway knocking on a door. A young man answers, barely out of his teens. He's tall, lean, with a cocky smile that makes my skin crawl. This is him. This is the boy she's risking everything for. I snap a few more pictures, my hands shaking. They go inside and I move closer, trying to hear through the door. Their voices are muffled, but I catch bits and pieces. Talk of money, plans, a future together. My stomach churns with rage, but I hold it together. I need to get out of here before they see me. As I turn to leave, something catches my eye. A security camera in the corner of the hallway aimed right at me. My heart stops. Have they seen me? Have they been watching me this whole time? I hurry out of the building, trying to stay calm. My mind races with possibilities. But one thing is clear, I'm in over my head. This isn't just about a cheating wife anymore. This is about something much bigger, and I'm caught in the middle of it. I need to act fast, but I don't know who to trust. Sarah's lies, the anonymous threat, the money, it's all spiraling out of control, and I'm running out of time. Back at home, I sit in the dark, trying to piece it all together. The lawyer warned me that things could get messy, but I didn't expect this. I feel like I'm standing on the edge of a cliff, one wrong move, and everything comes crashing down. But I can't back down now. I won't. I need to confront Sarah, but I need to do it right. I need more than just accusations. I need the truth, the whole truth. And I need it before it's too late. But as I'm planning my next move, my phone buzzes. Another message, this time from an unknown number. You're being watched. Back off, or you'll regret it. My hands tremble as I read the words, the reality of the situation sinking in. I'm not just fighting Sarah anymore. I'm up against something bigger, something I don't fully understand. And whoever they are, they're watching me. I need to be careful. I need to play this smart because now it's not just about catching Sarah in the act. It's about staying alive. I'm driving home late one night, the city lights flickering through the windshield as I replay the events of the last few days in my head. My nerves are frayed, tension tight in my shoulders. I've been pushing too hard, but I can't stop now. I'm so close to exposing Sarah, to bringing her down for what she's done. But tonight, something feels different, like a storm on the horizon. I notice it first when I turn onto my street, a car trailing too closely behind me. My pulse quickens. I slow down, hoping they'll pass, but they don't. Instead, they match my speed, staying right on my tail. Panic surges through me. I take a sharp turn down a side street, testing them. They follow, their headlights glaring in my rearview mirror. This isn't a coincidence. Someone's after me. I push the accelerator, weaving through the narrow streets, trying to shake them off. The car behind me speeds up, closing the distance. I'm running out of options, out of road. Up ahead, I see an intersection. If I time it right, I might lose them. I gun it, the tires screeching as I make a hard left. The other car hesitates for a split second before following, but it's enough. I tear down the street, my heart pounding in my chest. I lose them just as I hit a busy avenue, blending into the traffic. I pull into a gas station, parking behind the building, out of sight. My hands tremble as I sit there trying to calm down. Who the hell was that? Why are they following me? It has to be connected to Sarah, to everything I've uncovered. But this is different. This is more than just a warning. They're trying to scare me off, or worse. I wait until I'm sure the coast is clear before driving home. When I finally step through the front door, Sarah is in the living room, curled up on the couch with a book. She looks up, her expression a mix of surprise and concern. "You're home late," she says, her voice too casual. I try to keep my tone even. "Yeah, I had some things to take care of." She watches me closely, sensing the tension in my voice. "You okay?" "Fine," I lie, not wanting to give her anything. I can't trust her. Not anymore. I move past her, heading to the bedroom, needing to put distance between us. But she follows, persistent. "What's going on with you lately?" she asks, stepping into the room, her arms crossed. "You've been acting so strange." I can't help the bitter laugh that escapes me. "Me? I've been acting strange?" "Yes," she says, her eyes narrowing. "You're distant, distracted. And you're out late all the time. Is there someone else?" The accusation catches me off guard, almost making me laugh. "You think I'm cheating?" "Well, are you, Benedict?" she demands, her voice rising. I turn to face her, anger bubbling up. "You're unbelievable, you know that?" "What is that supposed to mean?" she snaps. "You really want to know?" I ask, taking a step closer. "Because I don't think you are ready for the truth," she falters, her bravado slipping. "What are you talking about?" "I know, Sarah," I say, my voice cold. "I know everything about him, about the money, all of it." Her face drains of color, and for a moment she's speechless. Then she shakes her head, her eyes wide with panic. You don't know anything." "Stop lying," I shout, the frustration finally boiling over. "I've seen the emails, the pictures. I've followed you to his apartment. I know exactly what you've been doing." She stumbles back, tears welling in her eyes. "Please, it's not what you think. Save it," I cut her off. "I'm done listening to your lies." "You don't understand," she pleads, her voice shaking. "It was a mistake. I didn't mean for it to go this far." "A mistake?" I laugh bitterly. "This has been going on for months, Sarah. You've been funneling our money to him, lying to me, betraying me. Don't try to downplay this." "I'm sorry," she whispers, tears streaming down her face. "I didn't know how to stop." "It's too late for apologies," I say, my voice hard. "You've destroyed everything." She reaches for me, but I step back, refusing to let her touch me. "What are you going to do?" she asks, her voice small and broken. "I'm going to make sure you pay for this," I say, my resolve firm. "You're not going to get away with it." She crumbles, sinking to the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. I turn away, the sight of her only fueling my anger. I walk out of the room, leaving her there, unable to bear the sight of her any longer. But even as I walk away, I can't shake the feeling that this isn't over. The car that followed me, the threat, it's all connected. And Sarah isn't the only one involved. I try to sleep that night, but it's impossible. My mind is racing, replaying the events of the evening, the argument with Sarah, the near miss with the car. I'm in deep, too deep, and I don't know how to get out. But I can't stop now. I'm in too far to turn back. I need to see this through, no matter what it takes. The next day I'm at work, but I can't focus. Every time I close my eyes, I see that car, those headlights glaring in my rearview mirror. I know I'm being watched, and it's only a matter of time before they make their next move. I need to stay ahead of them, but I don't know who I'm dealing with. That evening, I get a call from an unknown number. I hesitate, then answer, my heart pounding in my chest. "Hello?" There's a pause, then a voice I don't recognize. "Back off." The words send a chill down my spine. "Who is this?" "That doesn't matter," the voice says, calm and measured. "What matters is that you're in over your head. Walk away now, and maybe you'll get out of this alive." "I don't know what you're talking about," I lie, trying to keep my voice steady. "Yes, you do," the voice says. "You're digging into things that don't concern you. Leave it alone, or you'll regret it." The line goes dead, and I'm left standing there, the phone still pressed to my ear, my heart racing. This is real. I'm not just dealing with a Sarah anymore. There's someone else involved, someone dangerous, and they're not going to stop until I'm silenced. I know I need to confront Sarah, but I can't do it alone. I need help, someone who knows the situation, who can help me take her down. And that's when I think of Kate, Sarah's best friend. Kate's always been suspicious of Sarah's behavior, and I've seen the way she looks at me when she thinks I'm not paying attention. There's something there, something I can use. I call her, setting up a meeting at a quiet cafe on the other side of town. When she arrives, I can see the concern in her eyes. "What's going on?" she asks, sitting down across from me. I hesitate, then decide to trust her. "I know about Sarah," I say, keeping my voice low. "About everything." Her eyes widen, and for a moment she's speechless. Then she nods as if she's been expecting this. "I had a feeling," she says quietly. "I've noticed the changes, the way she's been acting. I didn't want to believe it, but it's true," I finish for her. "She's telling you, and it's worse than you think." I explain everything, what I've found, the money, the affair, the threats. She listens, her expression growing more serious with every word. When I'm so up on, she looks at me, determination in her eyes. "We need to stop her." I nod, relieved to have someone on my side. "I need your help," I say. "We need to gather more evidence, something concrete that will hold up in court." She agrees, and we begin to hatch a plan, one that will expose Sarah for who she really is. But even as we plot our next move, I can't shake the feeling that we're playing with fire. Whoever's behind the threats, they're serious, and they won't hesitate to take us out if we get too close. As Kate and I leave the cafe, I feel a strange sense of calm wash over me. I'm not alone in this anymore, but I also know that we're entering dangerous territory. The closer we get to the truth, the more we're putting ourselves in harm's way. But I don't care. I'm going to see this through, no matter the cost. As I drive home, my phone buzzes with another text, this time from an unknown number. Last warning. Stop now or you'll regret it. My hands tighten on the wheel, but I don't reply. Instead, I delete the message and focus on the road ahead. This isn't over, not by a long shot. Kate and I meet at a quiet cafe on the outskirts of town. The kind of place where no one asks questions, where secrets can be shared without fear of being overheard. She's nervous, I can tell. Her hands shake slightly as she stirs her coffee, but there's a determination in her eyes that wasn't there before. She's ready to do this. So am I. We need something undeniable, I say, leaning in close. Something that will force her to admit everything. Kate nods, biting her lip. She's been careful, but I've noticed things. Conversations that don't add up. Meetings she doesn't talk about. I think she's been embezzling money from the school. The words hang in the air between us, heavy with implication. I knew Sarah was hiding something. But this is bigger than I imagined. How do we prove it? I ask. I can get into her office, Kate says, her voice low. There are files she keeps locked away, things she doesn't want anyone to see. If I can access them, we'll have what we need. It's risky, and we both know it. If Sarah catches on, she'll shut down, and we'll lose any chance of exposing her. But we're running out of time. The threats are getting more intense, and I have no doubt that whoever's behind them is serious. We need to act fast. We finalize the plan, agreeing to meet again once Kate has the evidence. As she leaves, I can't help but feel a pang of guilt. She's putting herself in danger for me, for something that should have never happened in the first place. But there's no turning back now. I need to see this through for both our sakes. The next few days are a blur of tension and paranoia. I'm constantly looking over my shoulder, expecting that car to reappear or worse. But the streets are quiet, too quiet. It's like they're waiting, watching for me to make the next move. And I do. Kate calls late one night, her voice hushed and urgent. I've got it, she says. Meet me at the spot. I don't need to ask where. We've been careful, setting up places to meet where no one would think to look. I grab my keys and head out, my heart racing. This is it. This is the moment everything changes. When I arrive, Kate is already there, a manila folder clutched in her hands. Her face is pale, and I can see the fear in her eyes. What's wrong? I ask, my stomach twisting. I found the files, she says, her voice trembling. But there's more, much more. She's been siphoning money not just from the school, but from multiple accounts. Some of them, I think they're offshore. And she's not working alone. The ground shifts beneath me. Who's involved? I don't know, she says, shaking her head. But whoever it is, they're powerful. If we go public with this, they'll come after us. My mind races, trying to process what she's saying. This isn't just about Sarah anymore. This is bigger, much bigger. And if we're not careful, we could both end up in serious trouble. But we've come too far to back down now. Let me see the files, I say, taking the folder from her. My hands shake as I open it, revealing page after page of transactions, signatures, and bank statements. It's all there, everything we need to bring Sarah down. But as I flip through the documents, I notice something else. A name, one that sends a chill down my spine. It's the name of the man who's been threatening me, the one behind the anonymous messages. He's a partner in one of the shell companies Erko's been funneling money through. This isn't just about infidelity, this is about organized crime, and we're in way over our heads. We need to be careful, I say, my voice barely above a whisper. If they find out we have this, Kate nods, her face ashen. I know, but what choice do we have? We can't let them get away with this. She's right. We're in too deep to turn back now, but I can't shake the feeling that we're being watched, that every move we make is being tracked. I need to get this information to the authorities, but I can't do it alone. I need someone I can trust, someone who can protect us. I decide to call in a favor from an old friend, someone who owes me more than a few. He's a former cop, now working as a private investigator. If anyone can help us navigate this mess, it's him. I arrange a meeting for the next day at a location only he and I know about. That night, I barely sleep, my mind racing with all the possibilities. I keep checking my phone, half expecting another threat, but it stays silent. It's the calm before the storm, and I know it. The only question is when the storm will hit and whether we'll survive it. The next morning, I meet my friend at a secluded diner on the outskirts of town. He's already there, nursing a cup of coffee when I arrive. His face is hard, lined with years of experience, but there's a softness in his eyes when he sees me. Long time no see, he says, a hint of a smile tugging at his lips. Yeah, I say, sliding into the booth across from him. Wish it were under better circumstances. Don't we all, he says, leaning back in his seat. So what's this about? I don't mince words. I lay it all out for him. The affair, the embezzlement, the threats. He listens in silence, his expression growing darker with every word. When I finish, he lets out a low whistle. You've got yourself in a real mess, my friend. Tell me something I don't know, I say, my voice tight. He nods, taking a sip of his coffee. I can help you, but it won't be easy. These guys don't play around. If they find out you're onto them, they'll come after you with everything they've got. I figured as much, I say, trying to keep the fear out of my voice. He leans forward, his eyes locking onto mine. If we do this, there's no going back. You ready for that? I hesitate, the weight of his words sinking in. This is it, the point of no return. But I can't let them win. I can't let Sarah get away with what she's done. I'm ready, I say, my voice steady. Good, he says, leaning back again. First thing we need to do is get you and your friends somewhere safe. If they find out you've got those files, they'll come after you. We'll leak the information to the authorities, but we need to be smart about it. No direct involvement until we know it's safe. I nod, relieved to have him on my side. What about Sarah? I ask. She can't know we're onto her, not yet. We'll keep her in the dark, he says, but be careful. She's got more to lose than you, and she knows it. Desperate people do desperate things. I know he's right. Sarah's already proven she's willing to cross lines I never thought she would. But I can't let that stop me. Not now. I've come too far, and I'm too close to getting the justice I deserve. We finalize the plan, agreeing to meet again once the information has been handed over. I leave the diner feeling a strange mix of fear and determination. This is it, the beginning of the end, and whatever happens next, I know there's no turning back. That evening, as I sit in the darkness of my living room, I hear a noise at the front door. My heart skips a beat, and I freeze, listening. The handle jiggles, and I see the shadow of someone trying to force their way in. Panic surges through me, but I force myself to stay calm. I grab the baseball bat I keep by the couch and move toward the door, every muscle in my body tensed. The door bursts open and I raise the bat, ready to strike. But it's not who I expect. It's the young lover, his face twisted with rage and desperation. You, he snarls, stepping inside, a knife glinting in his hand. Get out, I warn, my voice low and dangerous. Not until you pay for what you've done, he screams, lunging at me. I swing the bat, connecting with his arm. The knife clatters to the floor, and he stumbles back, clutching his arm. You've ruined everything, he yells, tears streaming down his face. Get out, I shout again, advancing on him, but he doesn't leave. Instead, he lunges at me again, wild and unhinged. I swing the bat harder this time, hitting him square in the chest. He goes down, gasping for breath. I stand over him, my heart pounding, ready to hit him again if he tries to get up. But he doesn't. He just lies there, crying, defeated. The sight of him, broken and desperate, does something to me. My anger cools, replaced by a cold, grim resolve. This is what Sarah has brought into our lives, the destruction she's caused, and I'm done with it. I grab the phone, dialing my friend's number. It's done, I say when he answers. Send someone to pick him up. On it, he says, and the line goes dead. I stand there, the phone still in my hand, staring down at the young man who's caused so much pain. This is the end of the line for him. But for me, it's just the beginning. The wheels are in motion, and there's no stopping them now. Sarah will pay for what she's done, and I'll make sure of it. The door slams behind him, and for a moment, I'm frozen in place, trying to process what just happened. My heart is still racing, my breath coming in sharp, shallow bursts. The young lover's wild eyes, his frantic energy, it was like staring into the eyes of a madman. I can still feel the weight of the bat in my hand, the sickening thud of it connecting with his body. I drop the bat, my fingers trembling as I reach for my phone. My mind is spinning with everything that's unfolded, but I know I need to stay focused. I dial my friend's number, and when he answers, I force the words out, trying to keep my voice steady. He came at me, I say, my voice hoarse. You need to get here. Now. On my way, he replies, the line going dead. I sink into the couch, my hand still shaking. The house feels suffocating, the walls closing in around me. I've been so consumed by my need for revenge, by this burning desire to make Sarah pay, that I've lost sight of what's important. This isn't just about money or betrayal anymore. It's about survival, mine, Kate's, maybe even Sarah's, though she's the last person I want to think about right now. My friend arrives within minutes, his face grim as he assesses the situation. He finds the young man where I left him, slumped on the floor, clutching his chest. The guy's still conscious, barely, but he's not putting up much of a fight anymore. My friend's presence seems to suck the remaining defiance out of him. "You're lucky to be alive, kid," my friend mutters, hauling him to his feet with a practiced ease. The guy winces but doesn't resist as he's dragged toward the door. "What are you going to do with him?" I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. "Take care of it," he says, his tone leaving no room for questions. "You focus on what's next. This isn't over." I nod, knowing he's right. The confrontation has rattled me, but I can't afford to lose focus now. There's still too much at stake. As he hauls the young man out, I'm left alone with my thoughts. The house feels too quiet, the silence pressing in on me. I need to get out, clear my head. I grab my jacket and keys, heading for the door. I don't have a destination in mind, just the need to escape the suffocating weight of everything that's happened. I drive aimlessly for a while, the city lights blurring past as I try to process it all. The betrayal, the leads, the danger, I've been so consumed by it that I've lost sight of who I am. I used to be a man who believed in order, in justice, but now I'm something else entirely. I find myself at the edge of town, the city lights fading into the darkness of the countryside. I pull over, stepping out of the car and into the cool night air. The sky is clear, stars shining down like cold, distant eyes. I lean against the car, staring up at the sky, wondering how I got here. My phone buzzes, breaking the stillness. It's Kate. I hesitate, then answer, her voice crackling through the line. "Is everything okay?" she asks, worry lacing her tone. "It's handled," I say, my voice hollow. "For now." There's a pause, and I can almost hear her thinking, weighing her words. "We need to finish this," she finally says. "We have to see it through." "I know," I reply, my mind already racing ahead to what needs to be done. "I'll make sure the authorities get the files, but we need to be careful. They're watching us, and they're not going to let us walk away easily." "Just be safe," she says, her voice softening. "I don't want to lose you." I close my eyes, the weight of everything pressing down on me. "You won't," I promise, though I'm not sure if I'm telling the truth. We hang up, and I stand there for a long moment, letting the silence wrap around me. This is it, the moment where everything comes to a head. I've come too far to back down now. Whatever happens next, I have to be ready. I drive back home, my mind clearer, but still heavy with the weight of what's to come. The streets are quiet, the world seemingly at peace, but I know better. I'm heading into a storm, and I have no idea how it's going to end. The next morning, I put the final pieces in motion. My friend, the ex-cop, takes the files to his contact in the district attorney's office. It's a risk, but it's one I have to take. The evidence is damning: bank statements, fraudulent transfers, communications that link Sarah directly to the embezzlement scheme. And more importantly, it ties her to the man who's been threatening me. The authorities move quickly. Within hours, Sarah is arrested at her office. The look on her face as she's led away in handcuffs is something I'll never forget. A mix of shock, anger, and betrayal. She doesn't resist, doesn't say a word. She knows she's caught, and there's no way out. But the fallout is far from over. The news of her arrest spreads like wildfire, and the media is quick to latch onto the scandal. It's front-page news: local school administrator involved in embezzlement, betrayal, and deceit. Her reputation is shattered, her career in ruins. Everything she's built, everything she's fought for, is gone in an instant. But as the dust begins to settle, the true cost of this whole ordeal starts to weigh on me. It's not just Sarah who's lost everything. I've lost too: my marriage, my sense of security, my faith in the people closest to me. And the trial, which was supposed to bring closure, is turning into a nightmare of its own. Sarah pleads not guilty, and the case goes to court. The courtroom is a battleground, with her defense team doing everything they can to twist the narrative in her favor. They paint her as a victim, manipulated by the real mastermind, her young lover who's now facing his own set of charges. They claim she was coerced, pressured into actions she would never have taken on her own. It's a bitter, drawn-out process. I'm called to testify, my every word dissected and scrutinized by both sides. The tension in the room is palpable, the air thick with hostility. Sarah glares at me from across the courtroom, her eyes cold and hard. There's no love there, no remorse, just a burning hatred that chills me to the bone. Kate is there too, offering silent support. She's been my rock through all of this, but even she's starting to crack under the pressure. The trial is taking its toll on both of us, and I can see the strain in her eyes, the exhaustion that comes from living in a constant state of fear. As the trial drags on, the media frenzy only grows. Every detail, every sordid twist is splashed across the headlines. It's a circus, and we're the main attraction. I try to stay focused and to keep my mind on the end goal, but it's getting harder with each passing day. Finally, after weeks of testimony, cross-examinations, and legal maneuvering, the trial comes to a close. The jury deliberates for what feels like an eternity before finally reaching a verdict: guilty. Sarah is sentenced to prison, her young lover to a lesser sentence for cooperating with the prosecution. It's a hollow victory. I thought I'd feel a sense of relief, of closure, but all I feel is emptiness. The life I knew, the life I thought I'd have, is gone, and there's no getting it back. As I leave the courthouse, the reporters swarm around me, shouting questions, snapping photos. I ignore them, my mind numb as I push through the crowd. Kate is waiting for me at the edge of the throng, her face pale but determined. She reaches out, squeezing my hand, offering a silent promise of support. But even as I walk away, the weight of everything hangs heavy on my shoulders. The trial is over, but the damage is done. My life has been ripped apart, and I'm left to pick up the pieces. I thought this would bring closure, but all it's brought is a new kind of pain. In the aftermath, I retreat into myself, trying to make sense of what's left. The house feels empty, haunted by memories of a life that no longer exists. I avoid the media, the calls, the well-meaning but painful offers of help. I need time, space to heal, but I'm not sure I'll ever fully recover from this. One night, as I sit alone in the living room, the phone rings. It's Kate, her voice soft and tentative. "I just wanted to check on you," she says. "I'm okay," I lie, knowing she won't believe me. Maybe we could meet up," she suggests, "just to talk." I hesitate, the memories of everything we've been through flashing through my mind. I'm not sure I'm ready for that, not sure I'll ever be ready to let someone in again. But there's something in her voice, a quiet strength that I can't ignore. "Yeah," I finally say, "I'd like that." We hang up, and I sit there in the dark, the weight of the past still heavy on my shoulders. But there's a glimmer of something else too, a faint hope, a possibility of something new, something better. I'm not the man I used to be. This ordeal has changed me, hardened me in ways I never thought possible, but it's also made me stronger, more resilient. I've survived the worst, and now it's time to start rebuilding. As I stand in front of the mirror, I barely recognize the man staring back at me. But maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's time to let go of the past, to stop clinging to what was, and start focusing on what could be. It's a long road ahead, and I'm not sure where it will lead, but for the first time in a long time, I'm ready to find out. I walk out of the bathroom and into the quiet of the house, a house that once felt like a prison, but now feels like a refuge. It's a new beginning, and whatever comes next, I'm ready to face it head on. The scars are there, but they're healing, and for the first time in what feels like forever, I feel like I might just make it through this. As I step outside, the cool night air wraps around me, and I look up at the stars, the same stars that have watched over me through all of this. They're still shining, distant and indifferent, but somehow comforting. I take a deep breath, letting the air fill my lungs. And as I exhale, I feel a weight lift from my shoulders. This isn't the end. It's just the beginning. And whatever comes next, I'm ready for it. The trial is over. The gavel comes down, and with it, the weight of the past few months lifts slightly off my shoulders. Sarah is found guilty, and so is her young lover. The court's decision is final. She loses her job, her reputation, and any claim to the money she tried to siphon away. Her lover is convicted of assault and embezzlement. He's left with nothing, just like she is. The verdict should bring relief, but all I feel is emptiness. I step out of the courthouse into a crisp, clear day. The reporters are still there, buzzing around like vultures, but I ignore them. I've had enough of their questions, their prying eyes. They've taken our lives and turned them into a spectacle. But now that the show is over, I just want to disappear. I push through the crowd, my mind numb, my body on autopilot. Kate is waiting for me at the edge of the chaos. Her presence is a small comfort, a reminder that I'm not completely alone in this. She gives me a tentative smile, but it doesn't reach her eyes. We've both been through hell, and it shows. The trial has taken its toll on us, physically, emotionally. We're both drained, running on fumes. "How are you holding up?" she asks, her voice soft, almost afraid to break the fragile silence between us. "I'm here," I say, which is the most honest answer I can give. I'm not okay, not yet, but I'm still standing. That has to count for something. She nods as if she understands, and we walk together in silence to my car. The drive back to the house is quiet, the tension between us a mix of unspoken words and shared trauma. We've been through so much together, but there's still a distance, a barrier I'm not ready to cross. When we reach the house, it feels different. The air is heavy, the silence oppressive. The memories linger in every corner, every shadow, but I know I need to face them. This is my home, and I need to reclaim it. Kate follows me inside, hesitating in the doorway, as if she's unsure if she should stay or go. "Do you want to come in?" I ask, my voice rough, uncertain. She hesitates, then nods, stepping inside and closing the door behind her. We settle into the living room, the space between us filled with the ghosts of everything we've lost. I pour us both a drink, something strong to dull the edges of the pain, and we sit there in silence. The alcohol burning its way down, warming the cold that has settled in my bones. I don't know what comes next, I admit, the words slipping out before I can stop them. "Neither do I," she says, her voice barely above a whisper. "But maybe we don't have to know right now. Maybe it's okay to just be." I nod, grateful for her understanding. She's right. We don't need to have all the answers, not yet. It's enough to just be here, to let the dust settle and see where we stand when it's over. We talk for a while, the conversation tentative at first, but gradually the tension eases. We talk about the trial, about the mess we've been through, and for the first time in what feels like forever, I start to feel like I can breathe again. The future is uncertain, but there's a glimmer of hope, a possibility that maybe, just maybe, things can get better. As the night wears on, we grow quiet again, the weight of everything pressing down on us. I can see the exhaustion in Kate's eyes, the toll this has taken on her. She's been my rock, but she's just as broken as I am, if not more. I want to reach out, to offer her some comfort, but I don't know how. I'm too wrapped up in my own pain, my own fear of what comes next. Eventually she stands to leave, and there's a moment of awkwardness as we say goodbye. I walk her to the door, our footsteps echoing in the empty house, and when she turns to face me, there's something in her eyes, something that makes my heart skip a beat. "Take care of yourself," she says, her voice thick with emotion. "You too," I reply, my voice equally strained. She hesitates, then leans in and kisses my cheek, a soft, fleeting touch that leaves me breathless. For a moment, I forget everything, the trial, the betrayal, the pain. There's only the warmth of her lips against my skin, the softness of her breath, and the possibility of something new, something real. But then she pulls back, and the moment is gone. She gives me a sad smile, then turns and walks away, leaving me standing there, alone again in the silence of my empty house. I watch her go, the door closing softly behind her, and I'm left with my thoughts, my fears, and the faint echo of what might have been. The house is quiet now, the darkness settling in around me like a shroud. I'm alone, but I'm not defeated. The trial is over, the battle won, but the scars remain. I've lost so much, but I've also gained something: strength, resilience, a deeper understanding of who I am and what I'm capable of. As I stand there, the weight of everything pressing down on me, I realize that this is a new beginning. The life I knew is gone, but I have the chance to build something new, something better. I don't know what the future holds, but for the first time in a long time, I'm not afraid. I'm ready to face whatever comes next. I walk through the house, the darkness giving way to the first light of dawn, and as I stand in front of the window, watching the sky turn from black to gray to pink, I feel a sense of peace, of closure. The past is behind me and the future is unwritten.